Good? All right, so this is crazy. I've never done a podcast before. So my name is Kwele Serrell, and I'm sitting here with Trackademics, one of the vibiest producers ever. Want to give a quick intro?
Yeah. What's up? I'm glad to be here. Trackademics, Fresh Coast, all day, all bay, all day.
Gang, gang, gang.
Yeah. Honor roll crew. You know what it is.
And we're here at the Grill Studios. 16 MYDN Podcast. This is a very rare podcast. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So I'm here right now with Trackademics, and I just want to know, like, before we get into music stuff, like how. Okay, well, can you give us your government? If not, no worries.
It's good.
But just like your background here.
Dope. Yeah. I'm born and raised in Alameda, Bay Area all day. Jason, Valerio, yeah. I feel like I've been doing music ever since I was, 8 in terms of like playing the saxophone.
Okay.
And like that. But so that's like my gateway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing music ever since then. Like in high school, I got into kind of like making beats and all that stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. So what was it like growing up in the Bay Area? Because I feel like how did growing up in Alameda, or maybe not, but how did it influence you musically? Or like how did you get into saxophone and the stuff you were doing?
Well, it's funny. I feel like as a kid, your parents are always kind of like figuring out like, well, here, you could, go play baseball or, go play soccer.
Yeah.
Here, take music lessons. So I did the baseball thing when I was younger. Used to hit grand slams and be like a baseball champ in like Little League. Right. That wasn't going to last.
Okay.
So how Ray got into music, my mom, I think I was in 4th grade, and my mom was like, yo, you got, you want to play an instrument? And I was like, yeah, I wasn't really super into it, into music before, but I'm only like 10 at the time. And so my mom was like, you could either play, I'm like super indecisive when it comes to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then she was like, well, choose. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
She was like, you can choose between the violin or the saxophone.
Ooh, okay.
And I was like, oh man, I thought at the time the Simpsons were out and Lisa played the saxophone and Kenny G played the saxophone. I love my decision making. And so I'm a little kid. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play saxophone because I didn't know anybody who played the violin. Looking back on it, dang, I wish I played the violin. I love playing the saxophone, but the violin strings, if I could have live strings right now, just layer on myself, I would do that.
Now you got to make a cartoon with one of the cartoon characters playing a violin.
Right.
Then you can influence some other kids like.
I'm saying media of all kinds. Yes, The Simpsons is mass media, and they influenced me to play the saxophone.
That's so tight. That's tight.
But yeah, that's kind of how I got introduced to music.
Okay.
And
so like so now we're playing the saxophone. Okay. So then how do we jump into music? Because I know you're an artist too. So what came first, like beats or you doing your own thing? Was it simultaneously?
Wow. So I met going into high school. I met my homie Mike Baker, and we kind of started rapping that year into summer school, and just really on some social like friends stuff. And so we met my other homie, or I met his friend Moxie, and we all kind of clicked up and became like a little group.
Yeah.
So I was definitely rapping before making beats.
Okay.
But out of everybody, I was the one who was probably more into like the music aspect of it.
Okay.
And so like I would definitely be rapping, but I was like, man, I gotta make some beats for us.
Yeah.
That was the whole motivation. Like I gotta make beats for us.
Yeah. Okay. Did you guys have a group name? And what year was this too, so I can get the time?
Oh man, I don't want to date myself.
Okay.
No, I can't. It was definitely the 90s.
Okay.
The late 90s.
Okay. Tight.
And so we just kids in the late 90s, like trying to make it happen.
So what was like? What were you listening to then, rap wise? Like who was?
Oh, I was just okay, so it's funny. Our group, I came up with our group name. I'm of mixed heritage, so kind of I realized as the years have gone on, everything I do is kind of through that lens of being mixed up and diversity. That's how the Bay Area is. Like growing up here in the Bay, you know, we just kind of fool with everything.
Definitely like a melting pot. For
right.
Sure, yeah.
Like a true melting pot.
Yeah.
And so our group name was like Diverse Roots because we all come from diverse roots. You know, and I forgot what the question was. I started laughing at our group name.
Diverse Roots though, that's tight. But who are you listening to, like rap wise, that time?
Right. Oh man. So at that point, me personally, I was bayed out. I was only like when it came to rap music. So before that, my foundation of the music that my mom played me, you know, like kids like what their parents play them.
Yeah.
So before that, it was like sophisti-pop, like 80s pop music, like Wham and Tears for Fears and Swing Out Sister.
Not in his head, like
yeah, like really 80s music, but not just the super pop music, but like a lot of British sophisti-pop music. Sade.
Oh, yeah.
My favorites. Those are my favorites, and that's like my musical foundation.
Okay.
But when I was, you know, exploring on my own, around high school, I mean, West Coast rap really, you know, was doing the most. Bay Area rap for me specifically was the best rap in the world. So everything, 3 Times Crazy, the Who Riders, Richie Rich, the Loonies, yeah, you already know. Just everyone, you know. 40, of course, like all the compilations, San Quinn, JT, Bay rap music.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty solid foundation of music, honestly.
I mean, like when you say that, like I like because the other, like my friend Mike, he was only in the East Coast rap at the time, right?
Yeah.
So we would always like, as friends, it was like my friend, but we always be arguing.
Yeah, like what's better?
Like he liked Wu-Tang, J-Rue the Damager, like just like all East Coast, because that, I mean, you know, he grew up watching MTV Raps and all that, and we would always clash, and I would be like, but the West Coast is more musical. This is me as a kid.
Yeah. But
I realized how I was listening to music was like the beats, like on a like there's a lot of instruments being played out here.
Yeah.
And I had to come around to realize like, oh, the stuff he's listening to is hella dope.
Yeah.
Too, but in a different way, right? Out of it. It's a different context.
Yeah. And so then like growing, so now we're leaving the group now. So after this group, and you're still pursuing music, how do we get into, I mean, you said you were making beats,
right? But
how did we become now Trackademics? Take me to that.
Yeah. So it's a gradual change. Like we went to college. We were still kind of rapping in the group, but no one was really doing anything.
Yeah.
Like I was studying and making beats, and at that time I hadn't had the name Trackademics, but I was in class one day, and I was a business major, and the professor said something like, in the realm of academia, and I was daydreaming like I always did in class. You know, I listened just enough to get good grades.
Right, same.
But
like, yeah.
But yeah, he said academia. I started like, oh, that's a tight word. Academia, Trackademics. So originally the word came from class, but then I was like the Trackademics. That's our group name.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Tried to rock with that for a bunch of months, and they still, you know, nothing came out of what we were trying to do. So I was like, forget this. I'm snatching the name. I'm Trackademics. And then we can figure out whatever we can do. But, you know, so later, Mike and Mox and our other friends like who I had met through youth radio when I was in high school, we'd all became kind of like a crew.
Okay.
And what is known now as the honor roll.
Okay. So and then that's what I was going to ask. Okay.
So yeah, and the honor roll is like more of us. It's like 8 of us.
Okay.
But yeah.
And then is the honor roll still, like, are you guys still actively doing things right now?
Yeah. I mean, me, 108K, we're kind of like the production houses. We're still producing projects. We're working on Mike's project, and right now we're really focused on new talent. So, like, I've done projects with a few other people.
Yeah.
And but it's always going to be here, even if like members aren't like rapping.
Right.
Yeah.
That's tight. So it's like still kind of like a collective between you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's tight.
Yeah.
So I know were you on Fool's Gold? So how did that come about?
Yeah, that's a fun story. Like Fool's Gold, like it's one of those things. So me and Mike, I love it because Mike Baker, shout out to Mike Baker. He, he's always like the go get it, like let's just do it person. And I was like,
you always need one of those though.
Definitely,
that's like always a solid friend to have.
Man, you need everyone who you need every different type of person and personality.
Friend group, yeah.
Yeah, and it'll, you might clash heads, but you need it.
Yeah, it's good.
Right. So I think it was one year, and there used to be this conference in Miami called the Winter Music Conference, and we went. We had just decided to go. We were like fresh out of college. We're like, what do you want to do? Like, we're like, let's go to WMC.
Yeah.
We go, and just for fun and to see what we could do. I get off the plane. I go to like Best Buy. I believe it was Best Buy. Yeah, and got like one of them old school 50 CD spindles of blank CDs. Oh
yeah, like the ones that would come and like okay.
Yeah, a little tower.
Yeah.
And I had just bought a MacBook, and so I was like, let me just burn all these remixes I made, because I had been making remix maybe for maybe like 2 years or something, just not really out there musically yet. And I had burned a disc, or burned all 50, and was like, we're just gonna give them out to different people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like your SoundCloud link.
Basically, that's like SoundCloud before SoundCloud.
Right.
It's like
it's the same hustle.
Yeah.
And so we went out there and we're just like giving out CDs, having hella fun, drinking too much, just doing too much.
Yeah.
But like,
But it's good. Yeah. I mean, young.
And when I guess we went to one so we were talking to our other homie Wiz on the phone, who's also like he's like the founder of the Honor Roll crew.
Okay.
And Wiz was on the phone with us while we are out there, and he was like, hey, you got to meet a guy named Nick Catchdubs. Wiz is always ahead of the curve. He's like, always consuming media like crazy. Yeah. Like, he just knows who to look for. He's finger on the pulse of the culture.
Yeah.
That's the dude. So he even, and back then he was like, okay, you guys are in Miami. There's a showcase going on. Or we told him we're going to the MIA showcase because she hadn't come out yet. She was just dropping.
Wait, this is like Paper Planes, like
before that.
Damn.
This is way before. Yeah.
Oh
this
my God.
Like 05.
Damn. Wait. So okay, this is a tangent right now, but their music, like, was it the same? Like, was it different?
No, it was this. I mean,
it was similar.
Yeah, it was actually like, cause her and Diplo.
Oh yeah. I've actually read an article about them too, but I never heard her music.
That was like it was before. Yeah, it was kind of. There was a mixtape called Piracy. Was it Piracy Funds Terrorism? And that mixtape was out, and it was like.
It was fire.
Oh my God! Back then, like Diplo had put it together. Her, and it was like they were doing an in-store at Urban Outfitters in South Beach, and we were like, we gotta go to this. So me and Mike go, because I'm definitely love her music.
Yeah, she's
love
tight.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so we went, and I was on the phone with him, and he was like, you gotta look for a guy named Nick Catchdubs. Like, this is before social media. Like,
so he's really in the know.
I could tell you, our crew, we used to just go to Tower Records and read magazines. Like, and basically we were like, oh, magazines back then, this was like Twitter and Tumblr, where you would just like, you know how you just look in and you see, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's what we had to do, but in magazines. Okay. So we had to just go look at articles, and Wiz is even good. He has like a photographic memory, so I'm like I forget everything.
Yeah.
But he'll remember everything he read. So he's like, if this guy wrote an article about this, and this, he really is like a advocate for like Bay Area music, and he's from here, but he's like, you should just look for him. I think he might like your music. That's it. It's not even like,
oh my gosh.
It's not even like a connection. So I'm at this in-store, and me and Mike, we're just running around, having fun. There's a picture of us, me and Mike and MIA, that he's a selfie before self. Mike will always run around with the disposable camera. Yeah. Took the selfie, and so some funny picture of us in MIA.
That's and a TBT. I need to see that.
It's somewhere. It's on our Instagram somewhere. But while we were there, I think I'm talking to Diplo, about this remix I did for Keek the Sneak. I did a Keek the Sneak white t-shirt, blue jeans, and Nikes remix. But
historic.
Right, I'm talking to Diplo about
Actually, legendary.
And I'm like, yeah, I did a remix of white t-shirt, blue jeans, and Nikes, but like broken beat style.
Yeah.
Like British, like mid 2000s dance music, like broken beat.
Yeah.
Right? And he like, oh, that's different. That's tight.
Did he know who Keek the Sneak was?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. They all knew.
Okay.
And it's crazy. So, like, coming out from the cuts comes this guy, and he's like, hey, did someone say Keek the Sneak and broken beat in the same sentence? And it was Nick Cashdubs, who later came on to be one of the co-founders of Fool's Gold. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then so from that meeting, I gave him a CD. From that meeting, he used to work at the Fader.
Okay.
And he the first write-up I ever had was he did a write-up for me and, put me in the Fader.
Yeah.
And so I remember I had a photo shoot when I was here working at Berkeley, and it was like we had to send the photos, and it was big.
That's crazy.
But so when they decided to form Fool's Gold, they're like, hey, do you want to be down with the crew, and like we could put out we could put out your single and all that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Damn.
So it's just like organically.
That was that was very organic. Definitely fate. Wait, what was your friend's name who said it too?
Which one?
Who had like the photographic memory?
Oh, Wiz.
Wiz, like shout out to Wiz. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
That's
Wiz,
crazy.
Yeah, he's the dude.
That's tight. So how was? Okay, let's talk about now. So you're on Fool's Gold. You're working with them.
Working with them, yeah.
So what would you say like one of your first singles that was like, all right, like this is creating like some traction, like people really like what I'm doing, because I know like from your SoundCloud, I follow your SoundCloud, and I'm gonna put it on the link so people can go to it. But you definitely do like crazy mashups, like with stuff that you wouldn't even like. The guy said like Keek the Sneak, and like, are you saying that and that in the same sentence? Like that's how I felt when I was listening, or when I listened to your SoundCloud. It's like, damn, I didn't even know this could go together, but like this sounds tight.
Right.
So it's how does that? Yeah. What was your first single and We'll split it up.
Well, it's funny. My first single from Fool's Gold is really the only one that they officially put out on me. Yeah. But like, it was called "Enjoy What You Do," and then I had a B-side called "Topsiding." But "Enjoy What You Do," it's like kind of up tempo. What would I call it? It was like definitely up tempo song, like 120 BPMs. Yeah. I'm rapping on it. It's bare bones, like just drums. And the hook, it goes wham bam, I am the man. I'm on my job. You can't tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If not, then stop. Don't say shit, just rock. Anyway, that hook, I'm already thinking like, do I remember this? But that hook is actually a hook from Wham, like George Michael, Wham.
So old influences right there, bouncing back.
All day. Like I'm always interested in just kind of like taking stuff that I hold near and dear to my heart, and just like fusing them with other things. It's like cultural bridge. Like I said, like just kind of being mixed and like having different perspectives. I've always wanted to like marry all of them. Yeah, everything can truly just be like, let's put it together. And
that's like another thing. What I wanted to talk to you about. The second part of that question is, how do you kind of manage that, or how? I mean, like you said, you love bridging things that you love together, but it's just like, I mean, you just have to have an ear for it. Like, obviously, you're blessed, but how does that work out? Because I feel like a lot of people are often scared, kind to do things people won't like. They go a direction that they know people will like, they know is familiar. So how did you, kind of build that style of just bridging things that maybe people wouldn't notice would be tight at first, but...
I figure like this, and all my friends, so the honor roll, we all have very similar music tastes, and we kind of consume music in a similar way, but we all have different things that we personally like, right? Yeah. I think my thinking around it was like, if I can find a crew of this just right here, of people that I know that have this diverse range of style, this way of looking at music, I'm sure there's other people out there like that. Yeah. I used to say I like my food to touch. I don't want to just like, because back in the day, back early 2000s, like 90s, like it was like, okay, you make you make rock music.
Yeah.
And, and there's different subgenres, but you
Right.
make rap music, you're into rap music, or you're into like, just whatever the compartment is. And it wasn't as blurred as it is today. Rappers weren't singing, people who would look like they do rock artists weren't doing trap music.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like now everything is influenced by everything somehow. Back then it wasn't like that. And we were really like, but we wanted to be like that. And so I figured like, might as well do it.
Why not?
And other people don't know. People know what they like when they see it, but we had a knack of having like figuring out like, oh, I think someone else will like this.
Yeah.
Without having any frame of reference around it.
Yeah.
That's
tight. Oh wait, I have to use the bathroom really fast. Oh, that's gonna be on the thing, but it's fine.
It's good.
to talk about what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
All right.
But like right now?
Yeah, you tell me.
Yeah, what am I doing? It's all good. Let's see. Where was I? Where would I go? I could talk forever. I'm trying to figure out what I talk. But yeah.
Where are you living right now?
Huh? Oh, I'm in Los Angeles. Yeah. Yeah, I've been in the Bay my whole life. But I was like, always traveling. But it's like, let me make sure and like now I was like, now there's just a few things happening where I was like, let me go down there. Let's see. New energy is always good. And it's still West Coast. It's easy.
I was right there with you with Wham and all those.
Oh yeah. That's what's funny. So like, yeah, all of those influences, like it literally are my favorite. Like I don't know. It's just. I mean, I'm '80s baby, so it's like, I understand. Like I guess I'm supposed to like it, but people really don't. There's so much musicality in that music, and like things that even lend themselves to how music is now. I mean, it's kind of come back around. I feel like every era comes back around, but like in the early or mid 2000s, I was so on the '80s wave. But
heavy synths, and I love that stuff. Heavy synthesizers.
Yeah,
How you doing?
my favorite.
Great.
Great. Let's go like back towards there. There you go. All right. Back from the bathroom break. Had to get my cousin real fast. But okay. So now I'm really excited about this. This is like one of the parts of the transcript that I definitely want to focus on, but I want to focus on the Hyphy movement because I was telling you, it was a crazy time. Like if you're from here, like that was everything. Like that is like still in us today. Even like I feel like I'll still like tell my kids about that. It's crazy. So where were you during that time? So is it? I mean, I consider 2006. Yeah. But I mean, it might be a little bit early. I feel like there's probably a bubbling earlier than that.
Definitely. Yeah. But the pinnacle, I feel like the best time was when Tell Me When to Go came out. Yeah. Like that when we saw that music video, we were like, this is the realest, most, like, it's a realization of the art form. Yeah. So like earlier, I mean, ever since 2003, from what I can hear, musically, like when 40 came out with like Gasoline and Rick Rock was doing a lot of those beats. Yeah. That was Hyphy Turf Talk. Yeah. Like that's the makings of Hyphy. Even I was working with Mr. Fab on his sophomore album, Son of a Pimp.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So how did you meet him? How was that? What's that story? Yeah,
it's funny. I was on Telegraph the other day, and we had passed by. Man, I forgot what that spot is called. It has a downstairs. It's like next to Fat Slice, kind of like next to Fat Slice.
Is it a record store?
No, it's not a record store. It was a venue.
Okay,
but it's like a college, like kind of like college dive bar, not dive, but just like a venue.
Yeah.
Blake's, yes. It was Blake's. Okay. Exactly, yeah, Blake's. Is it still called Blake's? It's not called Blake's anymore. Poppies. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What I was gonna say. Okay,
I just forgot what it was.
Pappy's. I've been there before. All right.
So before that, it was called Blake's, and in 03, I think it was 03 or 04, I was listening to KML and they said that there was like a new Bay. There was going to be a new Bay showcase.
Yeah.
Right. And so, because back then it's so funny. People like I've heard the new Bay term so many times.
No, I'm like we're probably like on our third new Bay.
Yeah, but every generation doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of laugh when I hear it, but I was like, I know what y'all. I feel what you know what y'all saying. Pendulum's always swinging back and forth.
Yeah.
So. That was like a new Bay showcase, and who was there? It was Balance, it was Fab, it was EA Ski.
Oh my gosh!
And
like star-studded.
Jay Dandridge. Who else? It was Frontline there. I don't know if Frontline was there. It was, but yeah. I had handed CDs to all of them. Mm-hmm. Mr. Fab was the one who called me back the next day. It was just beat CDs. It was my phone number on it. And that was my whole hustle, just handing out CDs from here to New York to Miami.
I mean, it seems to work. It seems to have like worked, and you met some like pretty tight people.
Right. So yeah, like that was 2000. Maybe I think that was the end of 2003.
Okay.
Fab calls me back. We end up, hitting it off, and like for like a year straight, I would pick him up. Like maybe I was getting in a lot of work with a lot of different people. Yeah. More who the team and a few people. This is like out there on the East Coast of Bay Area. And it's just like it's just crazy like blasts.
Track after track.
But and then 2008 something.
Yeah.
But like Hyphy itself. It's get the major help that you need. That you need. It's also like too many people started rapping. Like you're not a rapper. Like there's a movement here, so you just want to jump on it.
Right.
Everybody looking real goofy.
Yeah.
You know. And also, it's crazy. The new sound was already here, because with Hyphy going so strong, everybody. What always happens is the kids who are in high school, that's living and breathing that. Is it. Yeah. But they're the ones who are about to make the next music, right? And the pack came out. I don't consider it like Hyphy music, like how Hyphy music was, but it was definitely like from that lineage, right?
Definitely.
And I mean, you see what happened. They changed the world music wise, like. Just like Lil B, not just Lil B. Like when Vans came out, it's crazy. Everyone wears that's the new Nikes.
That's what I said. I mean, like I told him this actually. I was like, dude, if that song would have came out today, so like 10 years in the future, you guys would have had a deal. Like, are you joking? Like the amount of people that went and bought. Like I never wore Vans. I thought they were just like skater shoes. I don't skate. Yeah, like I'm not wearing those. But ever since then, like I've always had a pair of Vans, like in my closet.
It was that important. They switched how people look at a lot of things.
Yeah.
But like I peeped, like when I would be at like South by Southwest back in the day.
Yeah.
First of all, there was no rappers there. It was like very few rappers.
And now it's like all rappers, isn't it? Pretty. I mean, not all, but like it's definitely dominated.
It was a time when I remember it was like me, Fab, Balance, the Pack, kind of representing the whole Bay Area at South by. So it was very interesting. But yeah, like you could just see how it all kind of switches over and one movement bleeds into another.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So do you think punk rock, because obviously like the Pack and Keek the Sneak are like they're on different spectrums, like they have come after. So do you think that Hyphy still had that element of rock in it? Like what was that like wildness about? Like what I always try to like think of that, because I wouldn't call it punk rock though, but it was.
It's youth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, the ingredient is youth. It's youth. It's pressure. It's societal issues. It's all of that.
Yeah.
It's rebellion. Like that's why I feel like it's punk, but it's not musically. It's not punk.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's the attitude,
it's not a bass, a drummer, and a guitar and a 2-minute song of like like crazy stream of consciousness. It's not that, but the attitude, like the same, just the whole posturing, it is that.
Definitely.
Because that's youth. It's just like young energy.
Yeah.
That's it.
I know. And I mean, even the style of dress. So like, what was Trackademics wearing in like 2006? Like, can we get like a visual right now? Like,
Trackademics. Yes, I'm in third person. Trackademics was doing his own thing.
Okay.
So it's funny. Well, yeah, I was always like, oh, I'm going to kind of be comfortable however I can be comfortable.
Yeah.
But yet stand out how I can stand out. So I was wearing topsiders. Okay. Nobody wearing topsiders. I had this on topside and it came out on Fool's Gold.
Yeah.
So Sperry topsiders, boat shoes.
Oh, you were already ahead of the wave because when Sperry's came, came back.
I'm from the 80s. I mean, I was the kid in the 80s. So I like a little kid in the 80s and like, yeah, we wore that. I'm from Alameda.
Yeah.
We actually, it's like little square shoes.
Yeah.
We had those. And so we're like, my homie Moxie, who was, in the group when we were in high school, he was like, yeah, let's like, he started rocking topside. I was like, oh yeah, of course, no brainer. Let's do that. And then so we had our song Topside, and then I was wearing those, but I started like getting into like sartorialist leaning. So I'd be wearing ties and like dress shirts and like really like kind of dressing up all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the times when I was performing with Fool's Gold, like they'd be like, who's this dude in a tie coming out in some topsiders and going stupid?
Yeah.
Like Hyphy, like what was it? Electro hipster, Hyphy, whatever people wanted to call me was hella funny.
Electro hipster.
Nah, it was like there was no such thing. There was the concept of a hipster back then was so different than now. Yes. And it did not encompass like any like black leaning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was more like indie electronic, like if you look at Broad City, right?
Yeah.
The version of them when they were like, I don't know, maybe 10 years younger than they are now.
Okay.
Running around Lower East Side of New York.
Image.
Those are some real hipsters.
Okay.
But and it was a derogatory term. So too.
Hipster, yeah, back then.
Yeah, it was like you're not gonna call yourself that.
Yeah, now people like love to be called hipsters. Like that's, I mean,
because
it
means
it
means kind of like different. It meant different, or it means you're part of a group.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about, it's human nature. We're always like trying to associate ourselves or disassociate ourselves, but that disassociation is an association.
Still an association, yeah, exactly. Right? At the end of the day, pretty much.
So yeah, all kind of stuff. But I was always trying to like, okay, well, if I'm gonna rap, like I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna look a little different than everybody.
Yeah.
So they know that this is a little different.
And then during that time, so like 2006, 2007, who were like your favorite producers or like who, I mean, E40 obviously, but like who were some of your favorite artists from that time? Or like, let's see, like, can you give me like top two like Hyphy songs that will never, like you could play them like at your wedding? Oh man, maybe.
That's crazy. That's a hard question.
I know.
I mean, really?
Maybe not top two, but what can come to your mind? Because I know there's a lot.
Well, no, I always love Muscle Cars.
Okay.
By 40.
Okay.
That's so tight. That beat is so tight.
Yeah.
I mean, Tell Me When to Go too. Like even not my version.
No, but I was gonna get to that right next. I mean, that just really kind of propelled everything. Mm-hmm. Like that just blew up. Tell Me When to Go again.
Yeah. Hyphy. Man, there's so many songs.
I know.
You know what? One of them, and I wouldn't even consider it 100% Hyphy, but it's Town Business. It's like Keek and it's why am I forgetting? It's Bart and Keek.
It's like a bunch of people on the song, right?
It's not. No, it's only two. It's like Walnut, the East Copeland one. Oh, why am I forgetting the name? This is pitiful.
Wait, I can look this up. I can look this up.
It's Town Business. How you like this town shit?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
We're going to bring it. And it's funny because it's really a flip of P.D. Pablo, but nobody really peeps it. No one thinks of it that way. It's a flip of a P.D. Pablo song.
Dude, I mean, like, okay, what is crazy is to, like, hearing you talk about this, because I was in middle school. I was, like, in the 5th grade in 2006. So, like, my, like, thinking of Hyphy, yes, like, Tell Me When to Go, and then Keek the Sneak, and The Team, Mr. Fab, Sleepy D. Yeah. But, like, then even, shout out Jay Ant, but, like, when, I forgot the group he was in, but Popular.
Yeah.
Like, that type of stuff, like, it was just like crazy things that were not like that was not coming from anywhere else, like
right,
that type of stuff. And it was just,
and that is like that's the wave, because they say you the first wave, the second wave.
Yeah,
that's literally the stuff that came right after.
Yeah,
because they're in high school.
Yeah,
right.
It was crazy.
And so like I say, like you had the artists who've been doing music, or like they were the first ones to make it. Like but the youth, that's all they consume. Yeah. So now everything they make is like that, but with their spin on it. Yeah. And so, yeah, you have that whole wave.
It was crazy.
And I felt like it was like, oh, that's when Berkeley, because it used to be just the hood. It used to just be like traditional, like Oakland, right. Richmond, Vallejo. Yeah. Then at that point, like when the Pack and all them start getting on, yeah, like it started going kind of like suburbs, and then that's where HBK pops out. Yeah. And like I know definitely worked with all them at Youth Radio, like taught Sue and all them.
And that's what I wanted to ask you too, actually, about Youth Radio and your involvement with them, and how important that entire program is, like, to the city. And
crazy.
We have people like you, I'm Sue, like coming out of that. So
it's interesting because like I had the same start they did. Like my girlfriend at the time was like, "You guys like music? You should join Youth Radio." So I'm 16. I'm like, like going to learn about radio broadcasting because it's the closest thing to music. Yeah. And they weren't even teaching music back then. But like all of us, that's where I met the honor roll. Like our whole crew is from Youth Radio. Just a lot of like-minded people. And I think that's what it is. It's a magnet for people who are interested in media at first. And it kind of shifted once Ben Frost, he's still teaching there. He came back in like, I don't know if it was 04, 03, something like that. But he's
like the director.
I don't know what his title is specifically now, but he's always been like teaching music there. Okay. And so like he once he brought music there, he started teaching Reason. It kind of just flipped, and then I started working back there, but as an administrator, going to the schools and actually helping facilitate the classes.
Sue, you interviewed I Am Sue, right?
I interviewed Sue, Roach, Giggs. It's hella people.
Did you know them before though?
No, they were young, yeah. I literally remember looking at their applications to get into Youth Radio.
Oh my gosh.
And so and accepting them.
That's crazy. So
yeah, him and Kuya Beats.
Shout out to him. I did an interview with him. Shout out Kuya.
Yeah. And yeah, it just kind of became place. That's where I met 108K, and it's just like a place that people who were interested in doing music kind of gravitated towards. Yeah. Yeah, and it's still like that,
Yeah, but now they have like classes or like they're teaching music actually.
Yeah, specifically.
Okay.
With studio time and stuff like that.
So. Are they doing production too? Like producers and everything?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what it kind of started around, because like just them learning software. Yeah. Like, and when I left like 10 years ago. But I'm always connected. Yeah. And like, it's just completely going strong. It's just a place people have to pull up.
Yeah, that's tight. That's super tight. So now, all right, we're jumping to the present. So I was looking at what we were talking about earlier, if Discogs is updated or not. But I know, like, I'm just going to read some off. We know you worked with Mr. Fab, Jay Stalin, Freddie Gibbs, I Am Sue, Jay Ant, Skipper, Tidra Moses, Kamaya One Oak. So I wanted to know, what would you say, like, musically, because I feel like Kamaya, One Oak, Jay Ant, like HBK in general, they definitely have, like, all to me, they have a specific sound of their own, but it still has, like, vines back to what we were talking about earlier, like Hyphy and just, like, kind of that energy. So do you think that's, I mean, it's crazy because I feel like they don't put effort into, like, trying for it to sound like that. It's just kind of something you guys naturally cook up. So how is it working with artists from here versus, like, artists elsewhere? Would you say?
Man, here, I mean, artists from here, it's just like home. Yeah. It's like when you're deciding what to eat and people be like, well, I don't need to go to a soul food restaurant because we make it at home. Yeah, okay. It's kind of like that with the music. Like, this is the kind of music that everybody grew up on. It's what they know, so it's just easy to do. Yeah. So in that instance, working with folks who are from here, it's like we all have a similar frame of reference, I'm slightly older, so I'll bring like a somewhat of more of like a mob aesthetic a little bit, or like, but it's all in there.
Yeah,
it's all in there. That's definitely the relationship I have with Kamaya, where she's straight from the 90s, where her ear is like just like 90s hip hop, or like 90s Bay Area rap, West Coast rap, and then like R&B and like regular stuff that she would listen to. Yeah. But you know, I feel like working with folks from here, it's just that common bond. And working with folks who are not from here, it's either one or two things. They wanna get some of the sauce that's from here, or they hear some of the other stuff that I've done too, and are interested in that. Because I guess at the time when Hyphy was popping, I was working with Fab and a lot of rappers around here, but I was also or B, like an artist myself. So I was rapping, doing like kind of different styles of rap, and then remixing stuff. And so a lot of the remixes I was doing were like house and like dance music and like kind of like future soul. Yeah, like I think that was the term. That was the genre back then. It was like future soul.
And was that really being done then? Would you say?
I mean, there was a small group of us. I was definitely one of them. One of my favorite groups actually is still one of my favorite groups. They named J Davy. They're from L.A. and Miss Jack Davy. We did some stuff together. Brooke DeLoe, who was the producer in the group, he ended up being like Miguel's like tour band leader or whatever for a second. But like a lot of the LA scene, they kind of spearheaded just a lot of different artists that were doing like kind of like soulful music, like, but like informed by like new wave and like jazz and like just other crazy rhythms. And like I was doing that kind of stuff too. You know.
So now, like, musically, what is first of all, actually, do you think that Los Angeles, I mean, because we're all, like, one state. Like, we're all West Coast.
Right.
But obviously there's a difference between, like, the Bay Area and Los Angeles, or, like, Southern California. So do you think the music has kind of, like, blended even, like, the North and the South? Because I feel like a lot of the beats that we hear, like, coming from, like, crazy artists. I mean, like, I love Ty Dolla $ign and, like, a bunch of artists from up there. I feel like it's definitely that sound. Like, even like Loyal, Nick Knack, shout out Nick Knack, St. Mary's alum, gang. But like, you know, it's crazy, like how, because for instance, like Hyphy, I feel like whenever I talk to people about Hyphy music, they kind of get it. Like they think it's cool, like especially how much like it influenced us. I think they appreciate it, but they don't really fully understand. I don't think many people do unless you're from here.
I mean,
but it's crazy how the beats now are like,
yes, you know, all the beats. Even like my favorite album, just like in the last 2 weeks, is like Kalela.
Oh my gosh.
And like,
amazing.
You know, because that's the kind of sound pads I really like. But Let Me Know is like a Bay beat with hella other stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
It's literally like a Bay clap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like that's where music is at. And I feel like, everything kind of has, if you're not doing the trap tempo or like the real double time, you know, slow tempo, then up tempo slap is always it.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's definitely a West Coast sound. Definitely a West Coast sound. At this point, like, it's funny when everyone has a conversation about stealing from the Bay. Yes, it's true. We start everything. Shout out to Chipotle. They stole Mission Style Break. I'm playing. I listened to this podcast called How You Built This, and they were talking about, I was in the Mission, and those burritos were amazing, so I decided to like make a chain called Chipotle.
Wait, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but
so not gang.
Well, you know, it just is what it is. It's people,
Exactly.
People just go and they're influenced.
It's still the sauce.
I just say everyone's influenced from us. But
definitely.
You know, in jest and not in jest. Yeah. But I feel like it's funny. Like people specifically talk about Mustard, and I've actually worked with Mustard in the studio, and you're like, very dope dude. Like I think if you look at his age and what he was listening to, you know, at the time, whether it's, you know, from the pack or it would end up being jerking music, whatever it is, right?
Gosh,
it's all West Coast, and like I say, once whatever's popping and you're a kid, that's what sticks with you.
Yeah.
Of course he's gonna make that music.
Yeah.
You know? And granted, people don't understand Hyphy in its full because like they don't come from here. Like it's crazy to be in a party and when those songs come on and see everybody really going dumb.
Right.
But in the way that we do here,
Yeah.
you can only really truly appreciate a movement when you're in the center of the movement. Because otherwise you're just like on the outside and you don't really culturally understand it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people try to like compartmentalize like, oh, that's the sound, but you have to take the culture with it. Right. So like if you don't understand dance hall music, I'm sure when you go to Jamaica, you see it and you feel it, like this is exactly why the music sounds like it.
Yeah.
That's why earlier when I was talking about East Coast rap, right? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't my thing. I was out of context.
Right.
Like I was like beat wise, I'm like, oh, the high mid or the high bass, there's no sub in this bass because you can't hear sub in the headphones. Whereas in the car, it's just subs and 808s here because we have, it's car music.
Right.
So I had to understand, like, I can't listen to this music the same exact way.
Right.
Because that was, a lot of things were regional back then. Now it's definitely still regional, but less.
Yeah.
But, I feel like just having the context is the important thing. And everybody who comes here to witness Hyphy and kind of see it, it becomes more real to them. Because otherwise it's like a sideshow circus, like no pun intended sideshow, but like just like a circus. Like why do they wear weird tall tees with airbrushed and like
and those bikes and
I don't get it. The stunner shades and like what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But come here, dancing. It's just fun.
Yeah. Even the dancing, like people oh my gosh. When people would just like gig on the side of the street, like
that's my favorite thing to do.
Days.
Even still now, I go out a lot still in Los Angeles, and I go dumb no matter what. Yeah. It's like if I hear something that makes me go stupid, I go stupid. I don't care where I'm. It'll be a jazz club. I'm not playing. It's not hyperbole. It will be like if I hear a rhythm that has the upbeat, I'm going.
It's natural though. It's honestly natural.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's type though. In a jazz club. I need to see that.
It's the gateway drug. I'm gonna let everybody know.
Let's see. We talked about so much. So okay, I want to go back times too because you produced. Well, I found out that you produced like my favorite song, "Hipster Girls."
Oh yeah.
So how did that come about? What? Just give me like a idea of like what your process is going into making a song with somebody else.
Yeah, I mean a lot of the times I start from playing beats. Like that's how that one happened. He's just someone who knows he raps so well and can get on so many types of beats and does what needs to be done on that beat. Yeah. And that song, I'm like, that's like a smooth jazz sample. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Yeah. It's like because it has the right tempo and pacing, but it just has a different feeling. Always been someone who wants to like express themselves. Okay. And I kind of have been that way as a producer, which is probably why my catalog isn't like crazy bigger, right? Because
it's still
it's big. Yeah, it's definitely big. Yeah. But, like I feel like I can make any type of music, but when I sit down to make music, a lot of the times it's to make myself feel good. It's like therapy, straight up. Okay. And so, like, I'm a chord-driven person. So, like, piano's my favorite instrument, and, like, you sit down and play, like, certain chords, they just make me feel good. It's literally, like, therapy.
It's like a shot of dopamine.
And so, like, a lot of the beats I make might have those feelings in them, which may or may not be conducive to certain feelings. Yeah. And so like it's funny, like Hyphy specifically is not about the kind of chord structure that I like love, right? But it's about the energy that's really dope. Yeah. And so like as a producer, I might have to omit some of those to make the rapper be able to like spit what they need to spit on top of that. Yeah. Right? But by another token, like if I'm working with someone like a Jay Ant or something like that, where it would be, he likes those chords, a lot, definitely. Or like 108K, we share that 100%. So it just depends on who I'm working with, because I always try, whenever I'm producing for somebody, I try to figure out what do they need from me, what do they want from me, what is it that I'm good at? Okay. to give them. You know, you got to kind of like balance all those things so that you can, and what are they good at?
Yeah.
So you can kind of like figure out like, well, this person, you know, they do really good on these tempos, and this is what their fans are used to hearing from them.
Yeah.
But then let's maybe try to take them over here a little bit and make sure that my fans will like it too.
That's tight.
Yeah. So it's that kind of stuff. That kind of like trying to triangulate.
Have you ever done anything with Kwele?
She was actually on my first, or when I dropped my first album, she was on the lead song.
Yeah.
It's called State of the Arts.
Yeah, I know you got.
Yeah.
I mean, that just like it makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Sounds.
I want to do some more. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, even so, what are some other groups from the Bay Area that have influenced you like musically? Like I know we have Tony. Like because I feel like another thing is people don't realize that we really have like gems. Like aside from rap music,
Straight
like,
up,
we have like so many other genres like of people that come from here. So who are some of like your favorite acts or anything to come from the Bay?
Man, I know I'm gonna miss some people, but definitely Tony. I heard you say. I was like,
Oh,
yes, off top, like Raphael
Yes.
Sadiq, Tony.
Yeah.
Goats. Yeah, just the best.
Truly.
Just the best. I mean, people don't know Raphael Sadiq is like responsible for like neo soul.
Yeah, I mean, like so many artists. Like, I mean, we could just name. I mean, yeah.
Name neo soul, but yeah, he's that dude. You ever hear? You listen to Total "Kissing You"? That's his bubbly guitar.
I remember one time I was in. That's funny. I was with you and your dad, my uncle. I was in the car and I was like, "What song is this?" It was a Total song on.
Right.
And I had to be like maybe 10. And I was like, "This song is tight. Like, what song is this?" And I remember I thought he said Toto.
Oh, Toto! Wow.
Toto. And so, like, me, like, I'm young. Cheetah Girls is on at this time. So I'm like, Toto, that's the name of the dog in the movie. Like,
oh, wow.
What? Like, so I'm looking up T.O., like, on the internet.
It's a rock group.
Nothing's coming up.
Oh,
like,
no,
I'm like,
a
this
rock
is
group
not.
named Toto.
Well, yeah, I'm like, but this is not what's popping up. Like, this is not what I was listening to in the car. And then, like, 3 years later, I figured out it was Toto. Yeah. So, anyway.
Yeah. That's funny. You mentioned Toto, and I can go off on a whole other tangent.
About that?
Real quick, Toto was the backing band for Thriller, Michael Jackson. But, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Anyway.
That's like rare gems, dropping facts, history.
That's
right
all.
here.
That's the honor roll. We're not named. I'm not Trackademics. It's not the honor roll for no reason. We're nerds who study music.
That's tight, though. I mean, like, really, because, well, this is another tangent, but I feel like a lot of people, it's cool to really know the backgrounds and like the different types of music that you like. Because I remember the thing I was watching with you and IMC too, how you were just talking about you would just like go to the record store and just like listen to a bunch of stuff all the time, and like you actually had to go get the records, you know. And so I feel like the authenticity in doing that, it opened you up to like so much more. Whereas online you can do that too, but it's kind of like I don't like that. So
it's different.
You know?
It's a different skill set.
Yeah.
Because when I go record shopping, which is far and few between now, unfortunately, I still have a lot of my vinyl. But like, it's definitely like a different process of making music from stuff that you buy. Because you have to like really do research. Like it's funny with like Spotify or something. People just go through randomly, like, oh, this part, was snatch it, not really even dig about it. But I had to judge off of covers, like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be tight, and then you look who's playing on the record, and you're like, oh, I like this person who plays these Rhodes keyboards. I know that there's gonna be this kind of sound, and you start following different genres. And it's definitely still happening today, but it's just like different. It's just so different from that.
Okay, so circling back. Some of your favorite acts from here.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, definitely Tony, Frankie Beverly and the Maze.
Yes.
Definitely dope. Shoot, In Vogue.
Yes.
What else? I'm missing tons right now.
It's okay.
Because everyone's from the Bay. I say everyone's from
true.
the Bay.
I mean,
everything's
the
from
three
the
you
Bay.
named are like heavy hitters already, you know. So
yeah, definitely those that I remade a Confunction song. Shout out to Vallejo Confunction. I remade one of their songs for my remix tape 4 like last year. They're dope. Who else? I mean, definitely Tower Power.
Wait, Sly and the Family Stone is from here too, aren't they?
Yes.
Or like maybe San Francisco.
Yeah.
But like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Trying to think. Oh, okay. So now, like in the future, like talking about present tense, we have like Kamaya, Kaylani, like all these people. I mean, Lil B has always been around.
Yeah.
Elu J, he's like a new artist that I like. That's like definitely different. Like, he kind of reminds me of like J.N. a little bit, like beat wise, going like in a different direction. Collaborate. There's just like so many young artists. SOBRB, obviously, they're very lit. So what do you think about the present tense of the music coming from here right now? Are you happy as like a veteran to see this like pay off, you know, like, or you know, just in general, what do you think about the sound right now?
I love it. I love it 100%. Like, literally, what do we listen to? So, yeah, it's amazing because, like I say, Bay Area is my favorite kind of rap music.
Yeah.
Straight up. And listening to, like, SOBRB, I'm like, dude, they rap the same. Like, it's a similar style of, like, old school Bay Area rap. It's just like you hear, it's just hella turfy.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I mean, and what I do love about Bay Area scene now, in which the honor roll kind of was like on the precipice of, is that a lot of the different artists here are into a lot of different things, and you can get every kind of rap music here.
Yeah.
You know, but still from a Bay Area perspective, like, you know, Rex Life Raj doesn't sound, he's crazy.
I love him. I love him so much.
Probably
His new
one of the
album
best.
is really amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
off top.
Yeah.
You know, you got that in the same area. You got a SOBRB.
Right.
You know, and I just love the fact that you can hear a clear line to our lineage. You hear people making our as Wiz from our crew would say, like, Cro-Magnon town music. Like, if it's from an Oakland artist, it's just like Jay Stalin and like those soundscapes, those beats, all black, like Ezale.
Yeah. Oh, shout
you
out
know,
Ezale.
yeah, Chippas.
Yeah.
Like that real town music. You can hear it. It just sounds like Oakland.
Yeah.
But you also have, like you say, Elu J, who's really on another wave, you know, but it's from here, and it's no less Bay Area,
right?
You know, like Wax Roof on the beats, just doing all that Drew Banger, you know, 108K, like definitely like
One Oak too, obviously. One Oak is amazing. Yeah,
and he's like crazy on the beats, and I just like the fact that, you know, back in the day, like, I'm in between, like, the older, like, in between, like, I was a kid in the 90s and listening to, like I said, 3 Times and all them coming up. And, like, that was them. And then, like, trying to figure out what our position was. Yeah. And then the new generation after that. And now, I think and it's like a couple generations after that. But, like, it all still kind of, like, links together a little bit.
Right.
You know, and I love that.
That's cool. Let's see. I mean, okay, so this is actually kind of random, but I wanted to know: Are you a Ace fan or a Giants fan?
Ace.
Okay.
Off top, good. I'm from the East Bay.
Okay.
You know, I don't need to.
You know what I mean?
I'm not a Giants hater. Not at all.
You know, we have those few people that.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
When you if you're from somewhere else and you move to the Bay, and you go like, oh my God, I had such a good time at. What is it? What's the park called now? It's not Pac Bell. What is it?
Wait, which park?
Just in San Francisco, where the Giants play. Why am I AT&T?
AT&T.
When the people, it's like a thing. So it'd be like, oh my God, I had such a great time at AT&T Park. We went. I was like, how's the game? And like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be. I know a lot of people be Giants fans, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see the Coliseum from my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm gonna be the fan of them.
And you were around when Thunder was, our mascot.
Yeah,
those who really know facts.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I can't say that I'm the huge basketball fan, but I am a Warriors fan ever since I was a kid.
Right.
Because by default, even then when they were bad, and yes, I'm a Raiders fan.
Yep.
All day. You know, my dad was a Raiders fan, and people are like, but they left y'all, so
yeah.
That's business. That's
that has
that's what's happening now.
Exactly. Let's This has been great. I mean, I feel like I just want to know, for people that listen to this, like young producers in the Bay Area, not in the Bay Area, or just like artists in general, what's a piece of advice you would give to them starting out?
Trust yourself. Trust yourself and keep going, like diligently. Keep making music. You get better. A lot of times I hear people like, I'm trying to find my sound. Your sound's gonna find you. You're gonna figure out what you're good at and what you like.
Yeah.
So, I feel like especially now, we come up in an area where it's so heavy on branding, and like everything has to fit like with damn near your Instagram is more important than your music for hella people. Straight up. No, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, no,
your presence.
It's honestly true.
Your presence.
It is.
Yeah, it's not even a joke, and because by the same token, if you have good ass music, but your brand is kind of trash online, no one's gonna care. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I would say, well, yeah, keep that straight. But I feel like, music wise, do something that means something to you. Don't jump trend to trend. You're gonna have to always like update, especially if you're a producer. You're always gonna have to like, make music that is commercially viable if you're trying to be in the game like that.
Yeah.
But if you're not, that's also okay. You can make the best art you can want to make for yourself, because there are people who are gonna want that too.
Yeah.
I know, and just personally, like I'm making a lot of house music right now. People will be like, "Is that the same Trackademics that did Tell Me When to Go remix?"
Yeah.
And I was doing that back then.
Yeah.
But it may confuse some people, but the people who are really, really understand, they're always gonna follow you, because you're like, they get your taste. It's tried and true. Like, if I want this vibe, I'm gonna go over here to get that.
And I think it's cool, like when I find an artist that doesn't just like, it's cool when artists have their sound, but when I see that it's kind of broad, it's like, I didn't even know this was so and so.
Right.
Like, that's crazy. I think that's really cool. And what about touch on like the importance of like mixtapes? I know you do a lot of remixes and like a lot of compilations of different remixes, and I feel like that's still like such an important, like authentic part of just like music in general.
Yeah.
And so just kind of like speak on that, like how you keep doing that. And
that's definitely where I came from musically, and I feel like, because like I say, it's so much of a self-expression for me sometimes that like you just want to get it out. You might not want to wait for the whole like, okay, now we have to do the whole campaign or whatever. And there's different tiers of music to do, and it has a functional purpose in that, content is king, and so people are going to want to see more and more and more. But it also, like, I make so much stuff. Maybe this one, people want to hear it, but might not deserve, like, the 100% push behind it. All your music is it deserves something, but, you got to let the people decide.
Definitely.
And so, like, mixtapes are always good. If a song is that great, you could always bring it back.
Yeah.
If it's that great.
Very true.
And it's crazy. As an artist, you might always think everything you do is great.
Yeah.
But you really gotta let the people decide. Because they're gonna decide it. Like, I can't, like, when I did Tell Me When to Go remix, I was like running around the room by myself because I knew it was a hit for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was good for me.
Touch on how did you, I know the song is like huge, so it was kind of like, I feel like not that difficult to choose to remix that song, like the idea.
Yeah.
But were you like nervous because the song is so?
Yeah, no, no. I was like, I'm about to. Well, the reason behind remixing it wasn't a random reason.
Okay.
So I had a lot of friends who aren't from the Bay Area, and they didn't really understand Hyphy, or not even just friends, people who like in the media, whatever. They just talk bad about Bay Area music because they don't understand it.
Right.
And I was like, man, our music is hella good. I'm gonna put it in a different context so you understand it. So it's not just drums. I'm gonna do the hip hop thing, flip a sample from a reputable group.
Yeah.
Same record that Jay Dilla would use.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make it slap. You know what I mean? Like that's literally all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna literally do the same thing as every hip hop producer I love, Dilla, you know what I'm saying, Primo, all of them, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what they do, but in a Bay Area context, and show people that y'all are just biased because of what you think Bay Area music is.
Yeah.
And when people hear the remix, they're like, this shit is so tight, you know, like, it's like, what is the sample saying? Because I know how to flip samples to make it sound like it's saying something that it's not saying.
Yeah.
You know, it's like hip hop art. And people, I think a lot of pretentious hip hop head fans, especially back in the day, it was crazy back in the day. But like a lot of the pretension that comes with like, yeah, I don't listen to that kind of music. I listen to this. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to make y'all listen to this kind of music.
Yeah.
It's literally because I love Bay Area music and it deserves to be on the same, the same plane as everything else.
Definitely.
You know? And so, yeah, for those hip hop heads, like, I'm going to do what y'all do because I love that music too.
Yeah.
And y'all need to not be so pretentious.
And that song, like, Tell Me When to Go for us was already, like, crazy. And I feel like it did, like, stretch past, obviously. But the remix really just cemented everything. Like, and like you said, I think a lot more people were able to, like, listen to it, like, oh, okay, like this is tight. Like, this is definitely tight. Like, I get it now that it's presented to me this way.
Yeah. And I'm not the person that'll be like, yeah, you didn't fool with me back in the day, so I'm not gonna fool with you.
Yeah.
Like, no, people need context for things. It's certain things that I'm late on.
Yeah.
That and I might have even been dismissive about, but then when it's put in a context, you be like, oh, I get it now. And instead of being like, oh, you get it now, you're trying to jump on the bandwagon now.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody's like that with something. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you didn't like Brussels sprouts, but now that so and so roasted them, you want to eat some Brussels sprouts.
Right.
Now you late. You can't eat Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
people got to come around to things, and it's about It's about what people are genuinely, what their genuine intentions are.
Yeah.
Of course, a million people will try to jump on the movement because it's moving.
Right. Definitely.
But do you fool with it when it's not moving?
Yeah. Which is kind of, though, what we see right now, like, musically, and I actually want to get your opinion on this before we close, but it's like, there's a lot of music that sounds similar. But don't get me wrong, like, I love my Playboy Cardis, I love Rich the Kid, like, that sound, it's just the beat, And so, but it's like, how many of these can we, how many of these can we have? And then, whereas, like, when we have people like Rex Type Raj and, like, Elu J, I feel like the Bay Area already had, like, a harder time trying to break through the Bay Area alone. So, like, now when this is, like, the mold of, like, what's hot right now, and, we have Collaborate, Elu J, One Oak, Kamaya, like, all these amazing artists, but they're just not on that. They can be on that if they wanted to, but they're on their own thing. So what is, like, your opinion on what's going on right now?
It's hard. There's an art angle to it in that, like, you got to make something that people are gonna like. And I know for a fact that all those artists you name can make something that people like that aren't just from the Bay, right? So there's that. But on top of that, it's the business angle. It's really going in the arena and being like, okay, we're going to compete like everybody else is going to compete. So whether it's you got managers who ain't from here, you got publishing deals or what is it? Just all the pieces
agents,
of
like
agents, all the
everything.
pieces and things that can put you in position for people to like your music.
Yeah.
Like you said, Knick-Knack, right?
Right.
It's Bay Beats.
Yeah.
But the vessel wasn't from here, and this song is huge.
Right. Right.
I think that's the important thing is it's like, we could complain all day about the music, people don't like the music, but if you're making insular moves where it's just like, I'm gonna just keep making this kind of music, you have to have or keep working within these constraints or in this area, it's only gonna be as big because we're not the only one that gripes about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk to somebody, from Chicago, or you talk to somebody from Houston, and granted, like, their music has been big,
definitely.
But for every Kanye or for every, like, Travis Scott, there's a whole underbelly of people that'd be like, man, they're not feeling us, we're not on, and so it's just like, you have to make those major moves. Like you literally got to do it moving.
Yeah.
Like on some Hustler.
Yeah.
You know, like how I say, I got on because I flew to Miami and like
right.
kind of was like trying to do it moving.
Yeah.
And I see people doing that now. I see people spending more time outside of here than they do. And just for business reasons, like we could do 1 million shows in the Bay, or you can start touring. And I see more of everybody doing that now, which is great.
Yeah.
And just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I mean, I feel like if we're like being honest and looking, we have people. Everyone knows E40, whether or not you're from here. People know Too Short. People like Yo Gotti, and people use his ad-libs all the time, like on the hooks of their beats. And then we have like people like G-Eazy and Lil B and Kehlani. Like they've all blown up within their own right, within their own act, within their own like identity. So I feel like once we like break through, everyone like you said, everyone likes the sauce. Like everyone likes Barry a talent. It's just like getting to that level. So
it definitely is, and also it's
Pilo too. Shout out Pilo.
Oh man,
his album
Pilo
was amazing.
Pilo is amazing.
Yeah,
he's definitely amazing.
Yeah, he's tight.
And so I feel like, it's also speak to those that are listening to you, because we can be like, oh man, I'm trying to get the whole world, but if you got a captive audience, no matter how small it might be, feed them. They're gonna become the ones who just love you. They're cult fans of you,
right?
And then all their friends, and it's gonna spread that way.
Exactly.
Because people like to fool with things that they see other people fooling with. And they might not feel like, how did I not know about this? And then they rush to figure out and know about it. So I think that's important.
Yeah, that's tight. Thank you so much for talking to me. This is Trackademics. If you want to say actually anything you have coming up or what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff. So Honor Roll crew, Honor Roll Music, we're dropping a lot of projects. So I'm doing an EP with Tia No More.
Oh, shout out. She's tight.
Love Tia.
She's
Tia's amazing. Doing an EP with Tia No More. Got a project with LD's dropping. He's from Oakland. His single came out on Fool's Gold.
Oh, cool.
So LD's very crazy voice. One of my favorite rappers for years.
Yeah. Okay.
He's been in the game for a long time, and we're finally dropping his project. Me and 108K, we have a joint project called Two Player Co-op coming out. We dropped the first EP a couple years back, and that kind of encompasses like a lot of the new wave, like 80s influences I have in terms of like the songs that we've covered. Yeah. This one's a little bit more like original. There's a couple covers on it, but it's definitely like a future sounding.
Wait,
record.
Okay, 108K. I was saying his name. I was calling him 1 Oak. All right, so 108K. Yeah. Actually, really funny story about him. One of a kind. To cut you off really fast. I was in LA, driving down the street, like a random street, and I saw him like he was like moving things into a house or something like that, like putting his like shit in somebody's house or like going into somebody's house, hanging out with somebody or something. And I saw him, and I was like, oh my god,
that might have been his house.
That's him. Oh, does he live in LA now? Okay, so yeah, it was probably him. I just saw him like moving like a bunch of shit in. Yeah. So then I saw him. I was like, damn, that's him. So then I like yelled out the window. I was like, 1 Oak, like saying his name wrong, but I was like 1 Oak, and then he looked, and then the light was green. I was like,
dang, you gotta go.
He's super tight. That's tight.
Yeah. We got a spot that we've been working out of down there, and that project's gonna be crazy. Okay. I got a few more remixes, definitely. Some EPs. I'm dropping instrumental stuff. Yeah. It's a lot going on.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, so tell us tell them where they can find you on SoundCloud, Twitter, or Instagram. Anything.
So we're everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, anything with me on all those platforms. Just look for Trackademics, TrackAdemics. Okay. At SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
His SoundCloud is fire, so definitely go on that.
Yeah, my SoundCloud has definitely been geared to like the dancier, like, like the stuff that I'm doing, like really on some remix DJ type stuff. But yeah, you can get that the Honor Roll SoundCloud. So Honor Roll, spelled HNRL.
Okay.
HNRL Music. So you can search that. 108K, all of his stuff. Yeah, Honor Roll, all that.
Tight. All right, well, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast at Trackademics. He's tight. One of definitely the important cloths of Bay Area music. You've heard several songs that he's produced or helped create. So definitely an honor to talk to you and sit here. I'm really happy. Oh, gang. Gang.
Yep, all on the ground.
But yeah, thank you so much, and you guys stay tuned. This is gonna be up on the Girl Studios YouTube. You'll be watching this, or not live, but you'll be watching it. And then also be sure to check out more at 16 Maiden on Instagram for the zine that's coming out. That will also have a transcript of this conversation as well in print. So yes, get that. But thank you so much. Thank you to the girl. Thank you to Trackademics. Goodbye. How was it?